I came out here because, you know, like, I've been working in the back on the logging, and I realized I never put these away. That needs to be done. So I moved. I don't think I did any more lumber since you guys were here last. I should, yeah, there's still lots of piles back here. And I have rented equipment, so we need to work on that. Which ones did I rent? Let's see. The wheel loader. Okay. And the trailer. It's not that bad. I'm assuming it's going to take us a couple days to do all this. And I was reading up about the productions, and like Osa said, here's the problem with the productions in this game. And unfortunately, it's an endemic problem throughout the system. Productions. Production simply doesn't take too long. The productions take too long, honestly. And that's the issue that we're running into, is that, like, I found with all the stuff, and like Osa said, like, if you fill up the grain production, for example, it will take you 3 years to produce all the grain that you put into it. Well, it should get produced over a year, not 3 years. And that's where, you know, I'm not enjoying the game as much. And that's not true of all the productions. Some produce faster than others, but some are just excruciatingly slow. And it makes it not worth owning them, honestly. Unless you have other things that they can go to. So, like, for example, on the productions for the logging on Silver Run, if you want to own the sailboat shop and you want to finish the roller coaster, you have to own some of the productions, and that's cool. They kind of get you in it and get you working on it. So I don't have a problem with that at all. But, you know, just to own them outright, like I did when I was playing on the hard mode on France, that was a travesty. Like, it just didn't go well. Oh, these logs. Good thing I got one log over. Yeah, logs are a pain in the butt. Or not really the logs, the handling is what's a pain in the butt. And this tractor doesn't do too bad. But honestly, the only thing that really works is loading them one at a time, if you want to get technical. Getting one of those single log forks, and it goes all the way back to 15, doesn't it? I don't know if you guys remember me showing you the perfect logging setup was a tractor with a weight on the back, and, you know, fork arms, and the log picker upper, the log grappler for the tractor could pick up one log, and you could load the truck pretty quick because it just worked. I think this does, in the long run, using the front loader does load the truck faster, except for when you have issues. So when something goes wrong, like what just happened there, and something falls out of the cart, well, then you got a real problem, and it's a pain in the butt to fix. But it is what it is. It's what we're using right now, and it's what we're going to continue using. Could any of these logs cooperate? No. So I mentioned this in my French video, but I'm also going to re-mention it here. I started my new job this week. I've been working, obviously, Monday through Friday. Tomorrow's Friday, which I'm looking forward to, because it means tomorrow night I can stay up late and watch movies with my kids and hang out. And we're also hopefully going to be doing the truck sim stream. The dogs have finally calmed down. I think we should be in an okay place to do my first stream of the week. So here's my thoughts so far. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to stream. Right now we have a weird situation, and I talked about it a little bit on Facebook, but when we first got together, Moni thought it would be a great idea to get me a dog, so that when she went back home, I wouldn't be lonely. Which I think is, it's a good idea in practice, or in theory. So she got me Gromit, and for those of you guys who remember, Grommy's a great dog. Very good dog. He's really hyper. He's a border collie mix. I don't think we should have gotten him. We should have gotten something that was a little bit more calm. But he's who we ended up with. And like I said, he's a great dog. All the kids love him. He's a very obedient dog. Like if he starts to run away, you're like, Gromit, and he turns around and comes right back. He's a good listening dog. He needs a job. He really needs the kids to work hard to train him, but they just don't. So my wife got me Gromit, and I love little Grommy. But when she came back from England with Elfie and with Gypsy, Gromit and Elfie, Gypsy didn't get along with anyone, but Elfie and Gromit just went at it. They are both kind of neurotic dogs, like nervous energy dogs. Gromit more so than Elfie, but Elfie is also pretty high energy. Being a Cocker Spaniel, they're working dogs. Again, just like a border collie, a Cocker Spaniel is a working dog. They are meant to go hunting, to chase animals, and to be pretty high energy, running around, doing their owner's bidding. And so usually that is pointing out birds and stuff like that and going on the hunt. When you put the two of them together, well, it just turns into, it starts with lots of barking and posturing and eventually turns into a fight. And that is, one day I was at work and I came home and my friend Tim had been working on the house, and Gromit and Alfie had gotten into, just a horrific fight along with Gypsy. They were bleeding. They had bitten holes into each other's lips. It was horrible. It was a horrible experience. You guys don't have been around for a while, probably remember this. And so that night I had to make a decision who's staying and who's going. And unfortunately, Moni wouldn't let me keep Gromit. And I think in the long run, it honestly probably was for the best, because Gromit doesn't get along with any of the dogs, really. He's so high energy. And once again, not his fault. It's just the breed he is. He's meant to be a single owner. The fact that he gets along with kids is amazing, but he loves my kids. But he really is a single owner, no other pet dog. So my ex-wife was kind enough to take him in, and she just loves him and takes really good care of him. And so that's all been great until this week. And she is not allowed to have dogs at her condo. She keeps her condo super clean. She's very careful, that the condo owner doesn't find out. But she's not supposed to have them, so she has to kind of hide it. And, but like I said, she takes care of the apartment. She doesn't let it get a mess or anything like that. She's very cautious about having pets. And the fact that the guys there working in the apartment had no idea that she had dogs right now shows how well she does. She does a good job. But she can't have it. She had a bathroom issue where the bathroom's basically falling apart, and they found out that the people that had the house before actually took the drains out of the bathroom, and so the bathtub has just been draining to underneath this ranch house, which is terrible. It's like mold everywhere, and the bathroom had to be completely gutted and redone. Well, in the meantime, she can't have Gromit there while they're working on it, so Gromit's been staying here, and it has been Monday and Tuesday. He came here Monday night or Sunday night, and of course that was my first night of work on top of everything. And I was planning on streaming, but Gromit and Alfie stood. Gromit was down in the basement with the kids. Alfie was upstairs in the kitchen with my wife. And they stood at the door, and no matter what we did, they kept going back. They stood at the door and barked at each other for like 3.5 hours. Everybody was like, oh my God. It was like being verbally assaulted in some kind of military sound, like how they do those sound intimidation things, like where they, when there's a riot, they bring in the trucks that make the really loud noises that drive the people away. It was like being like there, because Gromit has this ear piercing like bark, and then Alfie also is just ear piercing because he's little, and it was, dude, there was no way I could have streamed. There was no way any of that could happen. So all of this to say, this is why I haven't been streaming this week. And I think that next week, once the dog, he's supposed to go back Sunday or Saturday, hopefully, frig's sake. I will be able to start streaming again. But even then, they're quiet now. They've calmed down. It took them a couple days. We knew this would happen. We knew they would. We knew they would probably. Well, we were hoping that they would most likely calm down, which is exactly what happened. They're not. When they get near each other, they bark. When people move from room to room, they bark a little bit. But once everything's settled down, they quiet down and be quiet. So, but that has been very stressful. So I don't know. I would say from a tired standpoint and a lifestyle standpoint, if things go to plan, I should be able to stream. I'm going to say probably twice a week and then maybe once on the weekend. Like a Saturday morning stream or something when we're not doing anything. If we're doing family stuff, though, if I got a wedding, forget it. But I'm thinking, or maybe a Sunday evening. I don't know. My kids usually get here either Friday night or Saturday afternoon. So if I do it, it probably will be before the kids get here. But if they're here, I don't know. We'll see. It's all going to be like word of mouth. Not word of mouth. Play by ear. That's the phrase I'm looking for. It's all going to be play by ear. And we'll have to just see how things kind of coagulate. I don't know. We'll see how things come together. But I'm at first I was like, yeah, I'm going to do 3 streams a week during the week. I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest with you. And when am I going to record? I mean, I have to have some time to record too. And when am I going to spend time with my family? Because I have to do family time. And when are we going to eat? It's just like I have all these different things that have to be attained, done, completed. And really, honestly, they have to go in order of what you guys are going to hate this again. And I hate saying this, but even now I'm in a position where I still have to make money. So the things that make money, like YouTube and work, come first. And then the things that I do for fun, like streaming and, playing video games for fun, which I don't really get to do much anymore, those come second. So I basically kind of look at it like my second job, but unfortunately with YouTube and Twitch, I have a second and third job. So I'm thinking I can't live like that. So most likely we'll be going to a Monday, Friday stream. And then if I can, I'll throw one in on Saturday. And we'll just have fun with it. I want it to be fun. I don't want it to be a stress on me. Because if I'm stressed out, then I'm not doing good content. And, but even then, I might even change that up a little bit. We'll have to see. Because I still, once again, recording comes first. So that's what we're doing tonight. But it's been a good week. On the job standpoint, for those of you that care, I did get my new job this week. I started Monday. I'm working for Medina County. I'm working in the IT department. And we have, I said we have over 1,800 employees that we're taking care of. There's only 8 of us in the IT department. Well, technician-wise, there's only 4 of us taking care of all of these people. And it is a little stressful, but the people are... I've never worked in a place where almost everybody is nice. And maybe that's a government thing. Like working for the government, people are just happy because they have good health care and they don't get paid a ton, but they get good benefits and they feel like they're taken care of maybe. I don't know. But I don't see a lot of unhappy people, crabby people. Even the people that are kind of crabby because they're super busy are nice. And they'll say hi to you and they'll smile at you and stuff. I haven't run into any of those types of people where they're just oh yeah. And here's the other thing too. Maybe this is why I'm just thinking, I'm figuring this out. It's probably because nobody that works there, here's a theory, has any kind of investment. They don't own the company. They're not trying to make $1 million through the company. It is a government company. So if we do well, great. If we don't do well, we're still getting paid and we still have our jobs. If we do crap, obviously you get fired. But I'm just saying, if the economy doesn't do well, or there's no brokers, there's no board of directors, there's no financial pressure from the outside saying, oh, you guys got to do better, you got to produce. It's not like that. We're here to keep the county running. People are here to make sure that the, homes are taken care of, that, the roads are clear, that the water flows, that people have, a sewer system that works. Like that's what we're here for. It's not about like trying to make $1 million or anything like that. And I think maybe that's why people aren't as nasty as they are in the regular working world. I just realized that. I mean, what do you guys think? You think I'm right about that? I'm thinking that's the case. So it's been, I hear my wife yelling. I'm trying to hear what's going on. Anyway, it's been a good experience. And like I said, everybody's just nice to everybody. And I've never worked in a place like that. I've worked in places where there's lots of nice people. But I mean, these people are super nice. Hold on a second, folks. Sorry about that. My wife was yelling for Violet to go downstairs and make dinner or to watch Gromit so Seth can make dinner. So anyway, yeah, I think that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed this week is just the fact that the bosses are all nice. Yeah, they kid each other and stuff, and but there's not. The other thing I like is it's real free form. Like I'm trying to learn the system, but there's no like, okay, now you got to sit down for this horrible, boring training. Now you got to go here for this. This is how we do this. It's kind of just free form. So like the first day that I was there, we kind of sat around and I set up my laptop and there wasn't a lot going on. And I'm like, And so I came in the second day and I said, I'm not just going to sit at my desk all day. I'm going to try to find stuff out. And there's another new guy that started with me, but he's been working for them in a different department for like 2 years. So he's like familiar with the system. But anyway, he was already working on stuff. And I'm like, well, you know what? If this guy's working on stuff, maybe I need to find stuff to work on. So I started going through the ticket system and I picked a couple tickets that looked like, I could probably take care of these. And I went over to Jonah, the guy that I got eaten by the whale, and he's kind of my boss. Everybody's not the boss, but he is a boss. He's like a coordinator, and he's been around for a long time, and he programs some of the systems there and stuff. And we got John, who's more of the network guru, and then we have Jonah, who's more of the IT oversight guy, and he sits at his computer and does like unlocks people's accounts and stuff, but he also manages us and sends us out to do different calls if he can't get it figured over the phone. So anyway, Jonah, it's funny because he's kind of doing like level 1 support, but he's also doing like level 3 support. He's the one that decides who goes where and does what. Anyway, so I said to Jonah, I said, look, some of these tickets here over at the building department, which is a different building and everything, but it's my second day there. I'm like, no. Yeah. I'm like, do you want me to go take care of this? And he was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, perfect. So I went over to the department and I started working and I took care of a bunch of issues and they were super happy and super thankful that I was there. And I had a great day and it took pretty much the whole day to get it finished. But I walked out of that department and everybody's computers were working the way they were supposed to. And everybody was super happy that, I came over and they were all like, man, we're so glad to have you here. We really obviously needed more people. And, it was a great experience. So then the third day I came in and I, sat down for a couple of minutes and, the guys were, so what's going on today? And Jonah's like, well, I'd like to we've got some data, like more computers we'd like to migrate, but let me see if everybody's available. So he started making phone calls. He's like, you know what? It's not a good day for them. Let's not, we'll do it, but they're saying that they don't want to do this. And so, would you like to go, with, John's going on this phone survey. Would you like to go with him? And so I was like, yeah, sure. So we went to several of the different buildings and locations and took a look at the phone systems that they were using and what they needed to get. They're putting a new phone system in, and we had the tech with us, and we went out, and he was telling us what we needed to do at each location to make it ready for their phones, and it was really cool. So we spent the whole day just traveling around, going to different locations, and we went to, this was kind of cool. The county had a biogas plant. We actually have, Medina actually has its own biogas plant, and it takes the waste from the sewer and turns it into methane. And then they use it to power the plant. So it powers itself, And then on top of that, any excess that they have, they sell. And they power several of the homes and businesses nearby, like their heating needs. So it's they provide natural gas for all these businesses nearby them, and that is so cool. Now, it cost obviously millions of dollars to put that facility in, and but it said they said it'll take about 12 years before it pays for itself. But I think that's what he said. It was either 12 or 15 years, but it will eventually pay for itself, and then it'll start making money. So once you've paid for yourself, it starts making money. Come on, the frick. So it was really neat. I got to spend my day. I'd say probably about half the time. There's actually 20 plus buildings on that property. Every stage of the process has a building, and like a pump house or a equipment shed or the place where they keep the chemicals. Like they each had like a decent sized building attached to them, and so. We had to go into each building and decide where the phone was going to go and make sure that they had the right network gear in there. A lot of them didn't, so we're going to have to put network equipment out there. But that was super fun. And then we went. We didn't get to eat. John and I didn't get to eat, so we went for the end of the day. We went to a restaurant at like 3:30 and had lunch, and then went home from there. And I had a photo shoot Tuesday night. That's another reason why I didn't stream on Tuesday. I ended up picking up a photo shoot, so I went to my photo shoot and went home. And then today, or yesterday and today, I was working in the sanitary department, and I fixed up a bunch of computers, set up a new computer. It's great. It really is a lot of fun. Every day it seems like I'm doing something different. I love the fact that they're willing to trust me. Like they're like, Jonah said, hey, you did real well at the building department. Would you like to go over to the sanitary and do some work for me from there and just text me if you need anything? Then they just let me go. I hop in my car, drive over to the other building and start doing work. And it's great. I'm actually having a lot of fun, more than I thought I would. I really was scared. This is a big step. I've been self-employed for 15 plus years. That's a hard transition. The only thing that's been really difficult for me is getting up and staying up. Like I do get pretty drowsy like midday because I'm used to taking naps. So like today was nice because I came home for lunch and I took a little nap on the couch, like 20 minutes. Now I'm going to yawn because I'm thinking about napping. Before I went back to work, Moni and I cuddled on the couch and I fell asleep. She's like, great. You're home for 10 minutes and now you're going to sleep? I'm like, yeah. Is there a problem? Yes. I guess there was. So anyway, but it's been a much nicer experience than I thought it was going to be. I'm very thankful, and I'm very blessed that it's a good place to work. And like I said, everybody's just so, even like I said, the other departments, it's not just our department. And yeah, they're under pressure and stuff, but everybody likes everybody. They all have what I would call hall moms. So like at the building department, there's a lady named Alicia that works there that takes care of all the techs and makes sure, like the one guy was new and he didn't take a lunch, and she really was like, listen, you're out there working. It's, these guys are inspectors. She's like, you're climbing ladders. You're doing this. You gotta eat. Like, I don't care. You worked, 9 hours and you'll get paid overtime. But the bottom line is you need to eat. Like, she's making sure all the technicians are taking care of themselves and stuff. Like, there's those kind of people. It's great. I love it. So anyway, I'll tell you more as we go, and hopefully things will be good, and I'll be learning. There's a lot of stuff I feel a little lost on. There's some of this network stuff is really advanced stuff. They're using a what they call, but a lot of the guys in the department don't know it. They have an outside company that handles things, though they don't seem to be doing a very good job because it's like nothing's working right. And they have an outside company that's supposed to be helping them with it, but they don't seem to, like I said, be doing a great job, and they're not very happy with them right now. They're like, we call these people out. And I was in the office the other day, and our boss, Susan, was like totally chewing the company out. Like, look, I'm paying you guys whatever. It was like something like $10,000 a month or something. She's like, and when I put a phone call in, I better get an answer in like 10 to 15 minutes or less. Like, there's no way I'm paying you this much money and you guys are waiting, 3, 4, 5 days to get back to us. These are, when we call you, it's an emergency and we need these things down. So sure enough, the guy was out all day today, the tech from the company, but it's cool. Like, we're in like, I'm working in the courthouse. We were this morning when I first started, we were working next door at the courthouse, and we were looking at, they have an arraignment system. So, like, they bring the prisoner to a camera and a television, and then from this courtroom that we're in, they, the judge and the jury and everybody can, or not the jury doesn't talk to the prosecuted, but the prisoner talks to them over this teleconferencing device, and it wasn't working, but they get arraigned from prison. They don't even go out to the courthouse anymore, because obviously it's much safer to keep the prisoner in prison if they're going to stay there. So when they do their sentencing or court cases, they can just leave them in there and then do the case from there. So it's kind of an interesting thing, but the camera's not working, and so we spent the morning trying to figure out why it wasn't working, and that's why that BPI guy was out there. He was helping us. He's, that's their network, and what happened is there's some setting that's wrong on the main switch that's not letting the video travel out. So they're trying to figure out how to fix that. But I don't think they resolved it. When I went back at lunch, they hadn't resolved it yet, and then I just went over to work at the other place. But it's cool. Like, we just get to do all kinds of neat stuff, and we got a brand new courthouse building. It's really cool. I'm loving it. Da 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 da. All right, so let's see if we can sell this. $28,000. Not great, but it's okay. I mean, we're going to end up, I've got at least like 7 or 8 more loads. So let's round off and say we got 10 more loads. That's $280,000 that's still to come. So we're going to have like $400,000 more. Maybe I'm going to guesstimate, yeah, 450,000 is what I'm going to guesstimate. That might be a little high on that, but then we go into, the winter, and we'll be able to sell our crop. So we're going to have even more money then. So this is going to be good. Plus we have more silage coming. I might choose to, no, this is not where I want to go. Shoot. I might choose to bale and wrap the grass the next time, like rent a setup, and do some wrapping so that we could just sell it outright. I hate doing silage. We do it all the time, but I think we have it. I'm pretty sure, but in November we'll have another crop of grass, and it seems silly not to take advantage of that. And I don't need it for anything, I don't think. I'll look at my numbers again as far as what we have stored over here in a second. Crap, that's not going to work. I need to park over here more. Like that. There we go. So, things are going well. My only downside is this. I am desperately out of money. Like, we've got like $50 left for the next 3 weeks. I'm hoping, my wife's trying to sell her Western saddle, and I'm hoping to God that thing sells, because that'll be like $400 or $500. Other than that, we are until I get the paycheck. I don't get paid until the 24th. I think that I'm still going to be in trouble with the water and electric. But the good news is, after I get paid the first pay, I'll start getting more money in every 2 weeks, and then we'll continue to get paid every 2 weeks. So there's more money. And then I picked up a couple commercial jobs, so in the next 30 days there'll be even more pay coming in. So that's good. That's all good news. It's a little on the slow side. I'm going to have to try to get caught up now, because I'm falling way behind. So it's a little frustrating. It's funny. I got this a couple years ago when my mom passed away, and I got my inheritance. I bought this the computer that we're using for all this stuff, and included with that, I bought a curved monitor to plan, and it took my brain a little while to get used to it, but I absolutely love it now. And I was working today. This guy had this really cool ViewSonic. I mean, it had to be a 50-inch monitor, and it was actually a PC monitor. It was like 3,000 something by 2,000 something, and that was its native resolution. And it was the 16 by 9 format, but huger. So not 4K, but like 2K. And man, that thing was so huge and so nice. And I'm like, but it was not curved, and because it wasn't curved, my brain actually kept seeing it as being curved out, like away from me. I'm like, what the heck? Like, this computer has damaged my ability to see a normal flat screen as a flat screen. It looks like it looks like it's curved like it's a backwards curve now. Oh, I didn't know. Someday I want to get like a giant. After going to the flight, you guys will see that footage soon. I apologize once again on the flight simulator software too. That is coming, I promise. I have to do some editing, and I just haven't had time. But I'm waiting to hear back for the approval from John and Jake. And Jake liked it, but he was like, you should cut it shorter because it's like a long flight. So I'm going to cut it down a bit, and we'll go from there. But we are going to be releasing that. I'd actually like to do some more flight sim stuff too to prep the channel for that, because it should be pretty cool. Also coming real shortly here, we're going to be getting back into Star Citizen a little bit. For those of you that like those videos, there's a big update coming out today or tomorrow. I'm going to lose all my ships and have to start over again, but it's cool because they've added a bunch of new stuff to the game. Like, there's a ton of new content, which is awesome. And that's what we've been waiting for. There's new exploration places. There's a new job you can salvage. There's ships that you can buy that do salvage, and you can salvage wrecks. There's a whole bunch of new wrecks that they've put out there too. And I'm gonna buy the salvage ship. We'll go down that line. I sold my miner because I wanted to try the salvage stuff out. So we're gonna get that as soon as it's available. I think it should be buyable, I would hope, right away, like within the first day or two of release. You should be able to purchase it. Now, I didn't put any money into it, but I have money from the ships that I own before, and like I said, I traded them in, and it's just sitting in my account. If I could pull that money out, it'd be great, but you can't. And I don't think I would anyway, because I'm pretty invested in the game now. So I'm glad, because I can, try a couple different. I've mostly been buying ships and trying them out for the YouTube channel. So. But buying's the wrong word. Selling other ships and then using the money from those sales to buy the ships. You don't lose any money when you do that, which is cool. They're pretty good about making it so that you don't, if you melt the ship. But I think once the game comes out for reals, or maybe even later on in the development cycle, they are going to make it so that once you have bought a ship, that's your ship. You're not going to be able to just keep trading it. There will be a penalty, or you will not be able to trade at all. You'll just have to buy another ship. I don't think they know how they're going to handle it yet, but there'll be some sort of penalty if you're even allowed to trade it in. You might be like, hey, this is a ship. Once you buy it, it's yours. World Tanks does that. That's something that actually a lot of online games do. Once you purchased it, you're not trading it for something different. It's yours. Come on, open up. So I'm fully expecting that's coming, but I think it's going to be a while before it does, probably years. So here's where being too light is a problem. I can't make this thing. I want to shake the truck and get these logs to come down, and now it's not doing whatever. There we go. They came down. Good. Now I'm in trouble though, and I've got one that looks like it did not settle. Oh, what the frick? Anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this update to the farm. I know it wasn't really much of a farming episode. I'll try to do the rest of this off camera. Man, it's so hard because I need episodes, but it's going to be, as you can see here, we spent a half an hour and I barely dented this pile. And there really, unfortunately, isn't much of a faster way to unload these or to load them up. They take a long time to load. It is what it is. So Ladies and gentlemen, have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help. Thank you for supporting us through all of this. I apologize for the slowdown in videos again. Like I said, I'm going to be making some adjustments here over the next couple weeks and kind of just finding a rhythm that works for me, for my wife, for my kids. Like, how do we do all of this and make it flow harmoniously, all while including the fact that I'm going to bed a lot earlier and getting up a lot earlier and disappearing for 8 hours a day, 7.5 really. Oh, that was one more benefit. I'm going to sneak that in here before we go. We actually get a free half an hour to lunch. Like, they pay us for half an hour. So you're allowed to take you basically work 7.5 hours, because you take an hour lunch, but you only, how does it work out? You work for 7.5 hours, basically. You go to work at 8 and you're done at 4:30, but you get a full hour lunch. And they're like, that's one of the benefits to working there. So it's like, wow, that's awesome. And nobody's complaining. All right, guys, have a great night. Be sure to subscribe. Thumbs up always help. And thanks again, once again, like I said, for the support over all these years, guys. I'm still here. I hope you guys stay and keep watching. And definitely I think good times are coming, and I think times are going to get better for me and my wife, especially on a stress level thing. And that's a good thing for the channel and a good thing for everyone involved. So have a great night, guys. See you tomorrow. Bye.